G'day everyone, I am Matty Gee, one of your hosts of the SC Playbook NBA. The man is waiting in the wings, the myth, the Sumsky of all of our collective NBA parts. Alex Sumsky, the king of the 1-point win game. Sumsky, you were sweating absolute bullets this week, mate.
Oh, weren't we all? I feel like from what I could tell, it seemed like a few people had a few close ones, but that one.
The only thing I closest to having a conniption every time I'd read an injury report and see one of my players was out.
Oh, yeah. You know what? You know what I did? I ended up just tuning it all out. Like once the week started, I just didn't look because it was done. There was nothing I was going to be able to do about it. So I'm like, I don't even want to know. Don't even tell me. But it all came down to Amen Thompson for that last game, and yeah, looked like it was home, and I was going to lose, and then he had 2 turnovers, and then he missed a shot, and then I was back in it, and it held on.
So special shout out to Stephen with a PH, because we like a little bit of saltiness in our loss. pH level is very high. 1,052 to 1,051, a big score, getting over the 1,000 marker. Even narrowly this week could be considered a victory for many. One of the big things there is obviously guys like Chet Holmgren missed a game. We got Shea missed a game. If you were a captain like me who captained Shea, and we're now seeing that a lot of people didn't dip in the toe in the water, because the big thing to say here is that when we look at it, Sumsky, the big move that we wanted to pretty much make was Tyrese Maxey ended up being the choice. Yes,
it was the big one that everyone was talking about last week. He was definitely one of the most brought in, if not the most brought in. The conversation was really not about whether or not he's in, and it was all about whether or not he'd be captain. And the captaincy for Tyrese was the big difference maker for most players this week. I think that I know that some of the names getting thrown around and the ones that I was tossing up, Jalen Johnson, Shea, or Tyrese for my captaincy. I ultimately went with JJ, who was absolutely the wrong choice for the first 2 games. He finished strong, which was a big relief there. I was a little bit worried, but in Jalen we trust. By the way, I did a buy, sell, hold. He's on my hold. He hasn't let me down. Even when he's bad, he's good. So, that didn't end up being the worst thing in the world for me personally, but I would have liked to have taken Tyrese. I know a lot of people that had a lot of success this week.
And I think it was because the article that I wrote last week, I wanted to give him his flowers because we're not used to giving Shea his flowers. As I said, he's the Katherine Heigl captain. He's your backup. He's your bridesmaid holding the flowers there. Shout out 27 dresses reference. Not that that's a pretty deep cut for most people, but I mean, prime Katherine Heigl, let's be honest. So I just thought, you know what? He deserves to get the bouquet today. So I threw it Shea's way. And you can see, obviously, he is one of the traded out players there on the right side of the screen. And the name that's doing it right now is Luka. I don't want to swallow the lead on that later. Let's just go through the top 10 performers that we can see here. I'm very happy that he kept me right. I did say last week that Kevin Durant was the Rockets' choice. I caved and didn't bring him in, and I felt like a goose afterwards. Oh, yeah, because I brought Chet in. It was either him or Chet, and as I said, Isaiah Hartenstein still out. I was waiting for that Isaiah Hartenstein update, and when he was out and Şengün was possibly back, I just left it with Chet. I didn't expect him to rest. He performed well for me. Durant was absolutely stellar. Steph Curry, incredible week for him, 117. Victor Wembanyama, let's talk this one up at number 5 this week, 116, played all 4 games, 2 back-to-back sets for the Spurs. That was my big surprise. Were you surprised to see him play the week that he did?
I was, and I was more surprised as well to see how productive he's able to be off the bench and with limited minutes. Like, it doesn't seem to be restricting his output very much. Even just in those 7 bench games he's played as a 6-man, in those he's averaging like 20 and 10 in 21 minutes with 1.5 blocks. So at full strength and with proper minutes, it's a reminder why he's a 35-point average. It's no wonder why everyone wants to bring. It's either it's either Nikola or him. I was surprised to see what he did, but it's really boding well. It's looking good for the future. Like he's going to be an automatic in for me again very, very soon. Maybe not this coming week, but the week after, maybe the week before Jokic returns or whatever it might be. I mean, he's just looking delicious.
Wemby, looking delicious. Quote it from Sumsky. Right there, 1 point behind his teammate Kevin Durant was Amen Thompson. Big resurgence for him, all on today's game. Today's game was the game that really put him over the top because he was having a pretty average week, disappointing some owners who chose him. And you can already start to see that he's a widely traded in option. My pick again still is Kevin Durant because at the end of the day, it is Kevin Durant. Denny Advia, again, I was the sicko who someone tried to say, like, why would I even consider captaining Denny Advia last week? Because I put him
that's a good option. I would have taken, back of my mind, I don't have the balls that you do. You take the big swings, and I appreciate that. And you're known for that. I don't operate quite the same way. I'm too conservative with it. I play it safe. But not one of the big swings. Not one of the big swings, but not one of my big swings has lost out. In fact, I played it safe with Shea last week, and I actually feel bad about it. I mean, look, I was looking at people. I looked at Denny and Dunk. He's one of the guys in the office. He plays this. He's in this format with me, and we kind of riding the highs and lows together. And he was saying, I think Denny, Denny captaincy, there's something there. And I'm like, I mean, I respect the hell out of you for doing it. I think it's a great choice. I can't do it because of my mental health reasons, but great option. And he proved it right. I mad respect to anyone that took that as a captaincy option.
But just 1 point over Jalen Johnson, 114 strong from him. In his limited sample size this week, Giannis, this is why Giannis is 25.7% owned, 111. John Collins and Collin Murray-Boyles from Toronto, the most successful Raptor of the past week, obviously getting to feast as well with the outage of Scotty Barnes, who was one of the other injuries, mate, that was on the books this week that we had a look at. And let's just go to the Toronto Raptors because I know that this is the great thing about doing the podcast remotely. We can't do this all the time, but we can do it occasionally. There you go. There's your Raptors from last week, and it's Boyles, Quickly, and Barnesy. Missed out that last one. He was really bought in, but there's a lot of action. I found this interesting. 15% of teams have moved in the direction of Collin Murray-Boyles. Has he just been silently and stealthily sitting around on benches? And then this week, everyone's like, oh, look, I've got him already. Because it seems the case.
Some people did last week. I noticed that he was a bench player for a bunch of people, but he is, he's on my buy list for this week.
See, you go 16.8% back in week 6. Is this guy has been like one of the little rookie under cash gen cows sitting around there, and this week it just really paid off, mate.
Well, I mean, he's been eating whilst Pirtle has sort of missed time. So I think he's definitely worth it. He's an absolute buy. They've got 4 games, right? They got 4 games coming up.
They do. Yeah, the Raps coming up.
Yeah, and he's made that big jump. Oh my goodness, he's jumped from what is it, 6 to 7 something mil?
Oh yeah, he's made a big leap. He's made a big cash leap. So he's gone up already. So
you got to get him now.
Pirtle might be back this week. So this is the thing.
Sure?
So he's gone up. The rumor is, I'll double check. Pirtle could be back. In fact, I'll do it live. We usually check.
We can do it live.
We can do it like live here on the screen because I've seen him in a league in this exact league on Yahoo that I'm in, and I know for a fact that it was upgraded to. Here we go. Pirtle, there's the injury report. He remains on a return timeline. So he has no timeline, but he has been practicing again with the team. So possible? I reckon he doesn't play. I reckon we could roll it out. What do you think?
I reckon he doesn't. He might, maybe he'll play one of the games, maybe for the week. I don't know. I just don't. I'm skeptical. I think Collin is your man.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's call Collin one of these guys. Studs of the week.
He's heating up.
heating up, I guess you could say.
Right.
You like that? Thank you.
That was great. Oh, man, it was good.
You could read a book on me. There we go. Peyton Watson and Zeke Naji are getting a little bit of love in Denver with all the outages and Jokic being out this week. I've got a little bit of a sneaky one here. I'm going to go to Brooklyn because he's only still at 700. He's only at 7 mil. It's
Igor.
Now, Igor Yauman. I like to call him jeans because every time I look at that, I just read it denim. Now, this bloke here is, what's the chances that with Brooklyn's schedule coming ahead, and they do have a pretty favorable one. Here is the schedule. Now, we can actually track it in fantasy basketball from week 13. They're about to go on a run of 4-4-4, the Brooklyn Nets. So for a cheap option, could we start to be looking at Brooklyn Nets, the wonderful team that is the tanking Brooklyn Nets?
I do have my bad team philosophy, and that.
What's that?
You know my bad team philosophy. I'm sure we've discussed it.
We
but
have,
for those that don't.
But those who don't.
So those that don't know, I struggle with buying in on tanking teams or just teams that are grossly underperforming. So you barely see me go near the likes of the Wizards as an example.
Hold on. You were a heavily invested Lowry Markkanen man, someone from the Utah Jazz.
Many moons ago, Matty. Many moons ago. It's been about 5 or 6 weeks since I've owned Laurie. 5 weeks since Laurie was on my books. Those guys are, that's a one night stand for me every now and then. But I do think that now that I've said that though, and I really don't mean to go on a tangent here, but it just occurred to me that we will need to discuss Trae Young at some point. Now that he's been, the trade is official. I don't know. Yep. Will he actually play?
Well, this is the thing that they're taking a cautious approach. Now, whenever an organization says we're taking a cautious approach after a trade, we know they're tanking. They do have a top 8 protected pick, and they want their pick next year. So they can suck to a point, but they already kind of suck. So they're going to be in the lottery odds no matter what happens. I think we can lose a couple games. I'm really excited to see what they can be when they actually play the young guys with Trae. And he is a veteran, and they need that. CJ McCollum, I think, is an absolutely stunning acquisition for the Hawks, basketball-wise.
Yes.
And Supercoach-wise, could we get Trae on one of those heaters? Well, if they play him every game in a week and it's Trae Young and his efficiency goes up, I mean, we've got to look at it. But start of the week, I don't know we can call him that one, but we got another start of the week in. Can we talk about the New Orleans Pelicans? Because this is what I want to counter.
I would love to.
Here. I would love to talk about the Pelicans, the worst named team in professional sports. They have been on a 4-game hot streak lately. Murphy, Williamson, and Derek Queen, who I own, all getting up around the 100 mark. A couple of good ones in a row for Zion. Trae has been on Fuego. Now, this is a team that starts to be competitive now. Where are you thinking about and looking for these guys come down the thing? Because these are some impressive statistics they're starting to put together here for these guys in Supercoach.
I mean, I haven't owned any Pelicans this year, except for Queen. He has been an exception. Here's a stat for you. So Queen is the 13th most owned player in Supercoach.
He is.
Which it seems sort of kind of crazy that he's become an integral part of so many teams. But a common trend that I've also noticed is week on week, he's consistently one of the most traded out players every single week. Like he's been in the top 5 for the last 3-4 weeks in a row. If you've had him in the early days, then he's delivered more than $7 million in value.
7.3. He is up to $7.3 million for me now.
Right. So I'm not sure what his price is right now. Whether he's up, he's over the 12 million mark? Is he currently?
No, 11.68 right now.
Okay, so not quite. It's still a great price. It's for the output, it's easy to justify. He hasn't gone under 50 Supercoach points since week 2. 98 points last week, almost cracked 100. I think he's just an indefinite hold for me. Like, I have seen no signs really of, even every time someone says this is the week he slows down, bang, triple double. This is the week he slows down, bang, same stats as Zion Williamson. Like, that's the type of player that we're dealing with here. So I have my rules, and there are always players that are exceptions to those, and Queen unequivocally is one of those.
Now, this is the interesting thing. They are finishing off their 4-game weeks this week. They do finish with 4 games in week 13. Then they take a 3 weeks of 3 games hiatus before they hit back to 4 games as well. So maybe this is a guy you just bench and can generate some cash on the side, because you consider bringing him back in the 4 games. The only problem is the first of that 4-game week is when a lot of teams in the NBA actually hit the next marker of 5 games weeks. So I think we could talk about this one. I guess let's give a bit of a focus on the schedule for the week ahead. Now, although we are talking about fantasy and sports and all this kind of thing, it is week 13 in fantasy. So thanks to our good friends Joseph over at #basketball. Here's a graph that they have over on their website, and you can actually just check in and get your details. Now, let's talk it out through here. Playing the most amount of games you can get this week with the bullet is the Los Angeles Lakers. So let's swallow the lead. It's captaincy Luka time. It's captaincy Luka season, is it not?
I don't think. Look, there's no other move you could really make that's smarter than that. Like, obviously, you can try and get cute with it, but Luka captaincy. Those that don't captain Luka this week are going to be in a world of pain, in my opinion. That's just what I think.
You could kind of get Dennis Schroeder with it and just be a little bit cute with it. Like, hey,
yes.
Let's go 40 minutes. Let's go meet 40 minutes out of lockout and have a conversation.
That's right.
This week, a bunch of teams do have 4 games. We're talking the Boston Celtics, the Brooklyn Nets are also on 4 games, followed by the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Dallas Mavericks, Denver Nuggets, Detroit Pistons, the Golden State Warriors. The Los Angeles Clippers are back on 4 games. Oh, sorry. This week, 4 games, wrong ones. Brooklyn Nets, Charlotte Hornets, Chicago Bulls, Dallas Mavericks, Denver Nuggets, 2 games for the Pistons. So anyone holding on to Cade definitely should be getting him out of the lineups, especially with that wrist injury. That would have really hurt you last week, 100%. Moving into 4 games again for the Houston Rockets. And what we love about this is that if you start to bring in these Houston Rockets now, like Kevin Durant, Amen Thompson, Alperen Şengün, you have a lull week of 3 this week, and then a steady stream of 4s for a bunch of weeks to come. So Rockets are the moves you need to be making right there. Indiana Pacers as well. The Lakers, as we said, on 5. The New Orleans Pelicans finished their stoush of 4-run weeks this week with 4. And then we go down to the Portland Trailblazers. Shout out to Denny Advia. Now, there might be a little bit of consideration next week with 2 games for him. Fair enough, Sumsky, but probably just bench him next week, because then he's got 4-3-5-4. And you're probably going to be coming back to trade for him the week after. That's just a consideration down the pipeline, you'd say.
If you can afford to bench him, it's definitely the option. I have now had him. When I look at my team, Denny is the only player left on my roster that I have run for the entire year without breaking.
That's crazy.
Yes. So Denny is the last player. Yeah, he's been there every week.
Are you going to sell him next week and then pick him back up? What are you going to do then?
Yeah, okay. I'm going to have to sell him. I won't have the bench space, unfortunately, with some of the moves.
You won't have the space. Someone asked me that today, and I'm like, if you can, I'd hold. But if you've got the cash, you just sell it, because there's so many. There's another 5-game week for the Miami Heat, and you're looking at guys like Tyler Hero. You can afford with that cash and get it back. That's exactly. Then we've got guys like. Exactly. We've got the Sacramento also down here. We've got the Sacramento Kings start their run of 4. We're already starting to see some Maxime Renaud trades out and Dylan Cardwell in for the cheapie lovers. We've still got 2 more weeks for the Toronto Raptors, hence the Murray-Boyles trade. But then Bear in mind, they do go on a 5-week run of 3s after 2 more 4s. The Utah Jazz are midway through their run of 4 gamers right now. Shout out to Keontae George, who wasn't that great this week. People bought him in. One of the most traded in players, Sumsky, was Keontae George last week. And again, why we can't trust a tanking team, completely underperformed.
Yeah, again, cardinal rule. I don't deviate unless there's certain circumstances, which, by the way, I have a question for you. Sorry that I'm jumping around.
I love a jump.
But I didn't want to get too far off track of what you talked about earlier on the Lakers. Yep. They got their 5-game week. We know about Luka, captaincy, that's going to be done to death. There's a little bit of chat though that I've noticed in the group. I know I know you know what I'm about to ask.
I think I do.
What's your stance on LeBron James in the lineup this week?
I got you, and this is the fun thing. LeBron is like, there you go. Here's one of my thing. A PSA LeBron card.
Wow.
PSA 10 LeBron, like that's the first Laker.
That's a thing of beauty.
It's a thing of beauty. It's like one of the first Laker cards of him in that one. I'd put him in a Cavs jersey and Miami Heat jersey. The man's a legend. Like, I love what he has become for the game of basketball. But I don't own him in any fantasy team, and I haven't owned him in Supercoach. And him missing that game this week versus the Spurs, when maybe he even got out there for it, especially with the team being a bit mid right now, without Austin Reeves in the lineup, with DeAndre Ayton being, funnily enough, exactly who DeAndre Ayton is as a player, which is just most like, oh, you've got DeAndre Ayton on your team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just when the Lakers fans got excited that DeAndre Ayton was playing well, I actually got scared for the Lakers because I'm like, that's not going to last. No. I'm like, no, you've said it. So for me, I am not bringing in LeBron James. It's a 5-game week. I do not see the part that, one, he plays all 5. I think he is exceptional. He had an absolute corker, didn't he? He had a corker to start this last week. I'll bring it up. Here we go. Player research. He was absolutely on fire to start the week. And he was actually, I'm pretty sure, was he not outranking Luka at one point earlier in the week? I'm 100%. He
was. He finished on 77 for round or week 11. Is he there? Where is he on your thing?
What's that doing? Oh, here he is.
Oh, there we go. So I mean, not that 10 point, 11 points off there. I don't know. I kind of think that even if he only played 4,
if he played 4, do you think he plays 4 though? It's a $16 million investment.
It is. It's a tough one. It's the first week that I flirted with it. I'll tell you that much. He was not even in my stratosphere of consideration for the entire season. He was the type of player that I thought there would be, under no circumstances would I bring him in at any point. His price has obviously gone down significantly from when the season started, and now he's sitting at his 25, 7, and 7 average for this recent stretch. And if I'm getting that for $16 million and high-end 5 games, maybe I get 4. In a worst-case scenario, I get 3, and hopefully he goes huge in one of them. Would I be prepared to make that gamble in hopes that he does play 5 and settle for 4? I don't know. I thought about it.
Are you talking yourself into giving LeBron a run this week?
Here's the problem. The second I do it, I need to work out what the hell I'm going to do with him after that. You know what I mean? That's a trade I have to burn for nothing, because he'd be one and done for me.
And this is the thing. I think it's a trade you burn if that's what you're going to play or how you're going to play it out. Because I think what we're looking at schedule-wise is the Lakers, and we've said this because we both know that Charlie White, as of next week, is going to be put on game and both have to pay to buy us Luka Dončić jerseys, because I do not see a world. He said he would never bring Luka back in again, nor would he captain him. And I'm 100% sure that he's going to. Now, he might not ride there for a while, but I don't know if we can trust it. It's because the Lakers do have a really nice schedule ahead as well. You can bring now, this is the interesting thing. You can go 3 games of Luka next week, which would be fine. 4 games of Luka, 3 games of Luka, another 5 games of Luka. He has 2 lots of 5 in the next 5 weeks, including a 4. And then after that, they play 4 and 4, which you're going to be bringing him in for anyway. So do you get on the front foot there? That's the big question. Like, do you bring Luka in and hold him? Would you be more comfortable with that? Or could you be comfortable with that with LeBron? And I'm not so sure.
No. I mean, if we're being real, probably not.
Yeah.
But you did jog my memory there on Charlie saying that. I'm glad you took note of that, because I'm going to bring that up on Thursday when we do the pod. Get a live reaction.
I might have to get the City edition. Just wait, no, not Charlie yet. I'm just waiting for that nice, like that different colorway, not just the standard yellow. Thank you. I'll look into that one. Let's talk about this one, trade targets, before we get out of here. Targets acquired. Who is on the bullet radar? I'll have a little bit of a look at Sherry of the Screeny of the guys who are the most traded in and out, especially on my team right now. As we know, when we go to that window, it does show us who are the most traded in. And the most traded in player, as we have discussed, is Luka, and then followed by Amen Thompson. Zeke Naji is a hot cheapie option, with Collin Murray-Boyles being the other cheapie, and Kevin Durant just getting outpaced right now a little bit. Now, the break even for Amen Thompson is possibly the more digestible right now at 93, with Kevin Durant at 108. Sumsky, where would you be leaning between, gun to your head, Thompson or Durant?
Durant. I am looking at consistency here. I like what I see from Kevin Durant just about every night from a baseline perspective, and what I saw from a man earlier in that week before he had that monster game, didn't get me warm and fuzzy. So I don't like running those risks. If I gun to my head, I'm going with Durant.
There you go. I was the same way. That's why I said, and true enough, Amen Thompson had a hell of a game today. And if without that game, take off another 15, 20 points, he wasn't in the same stratosphere. So I'll click on there. Who else is on your radar this week? Who are you looking at schedule-wise, and who's ahead that's kind of getting your attention, Sumsky?
Well, outside of the guys that were already on that list, someone that, and I don't want to quote some genius from 7 days ago, but there might be another genius that said Peyton Watson is seeing more than 33 minutes per game over the last fortnight. Has turned out back-to-back 60-plus point Supercoach weeks, a solid return for less than $10 million. Sometimes my foresight is a burden, especially when I don't listen to myself. So
you picked Peyton Watson. You also said, though, we got to keep our eyes on Aaron Gordon. Shout out to Aaron Gordon, because Aaron Gordon is just there in the background. And my problem is, when Aaron Gordon ramps up, does Peyton Watson take the hit? Yes or no?
Look, maybe, but Watson delivered again this week. Obviously, he hit the 100-point mark. Jamal Murray, missed time, which definitely helped the cause. But it's another 4 games coming up this week. I think there's still some value to be gained from him. I don't know where Jamal Murray sits. I don't know. He hasn't been ultra reliable now. I think there's another good week out of him. I think he's still a buy as of this moment, but it has opened up the question for me. What do I do with Jamal Murray? Because I'm still holding him.
I'm holding him.
Okay, good. If you're holding him, I'm holding him.
I'm holding him here. The reason why I'm holding him is because apparently what kept him out of the last one was he was also sick. So he had the sprained ankle situation going on. That was fair enough. Apparently he was close to it, but then he was ill. And that's a different thing. So he was sprained ankle and he had a cold. Cool. You've got a cold. Okay. No problem. Put a line in it, move through it. But that's here in week 4. He's still got 2 more weeks of 4 games after this, and Nikola Jokic is out for the next 3. So if he's going to step up, it's going to be on the back of this. And this has been a big, significant run for Jamal Murray. And he has proven his worth over that one. Again, as you can see, where is it there? Jamal Murray, his overall scores, he's been averaging his 5 weeks is 89. So he's been right up there. And 87 over the last 3, and that's with this down week in the last week by not playing all of those games as well, to show you how good he's been, to keep that average still up there. So for me, I'm holding. I don't think it's a move that I'm going to rush, but we start to have a look around, and like these moves there, they kind of scare some people off, because we're seeing, again, it's all the Houston Rockets guys, which is the smart play. Traded out guys right now, the most traded out. Here we go. Kevin Porter Jr., Anthony Black, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Cade, Paolo Banchero, Giannis, Anthony Edwards, Denny Advia. There you go. Denny Advia, gone. Jokic, for those who still had him, which is odd. And Jamal Murray actually has cracked the top 10 list.
I think I can understand why. I don't know where Jaylen Brown's sitting at the moment, but he needs to be on the traded out list too, in my opinion. I had him on myself.
He's of course, because he's not a good fantasy basketball player. He's just really good at being in Boston.
Yes,
I like Jaylen Brown. I like his gusto. Like I like the theory that is Jaylen Brown as a basketball player. I like the aggro, like, look at me, give me some attention kind of Jaylen Brown, you know what I mean? Who's the guy who wins the Eastern Conference Finals and NBA Finals MVP because he's angry. I don't like the mopey Jaylen Brown. So for that, he can get stuffed. Most traded in, number 1 with the bullet, 3,100 Supercoach trades. 20% of trades have been on Luka. Amen Thompson, second. Zeke Naji, Collin Murray-Boyles, Kevin Durant, Victor Wembanyama getting put back into play. Jalen Pickett and LeBron James is into top 10 at number 8 right now. Number 9, Johnny Furphy. And your boy, it's your boy, Peyton, coming in at number 10. We've already mentioned a couple of those guys as our buy lows. If we're talking other guys, I'm looking at Yegor Denim, or Yegor Denim, as I like to say, but it's Yegor Yauman, to be precise for all those who wanting to know that you can say it properly. We can, and that's what we do. Any other final notes, Sumsky?
I think we've pretty much covered it. We've got another episode coming up in like 3 days' time. So everyone will get their trades in. We'll all, panic and be in a whole lot of pain for the next couple of days, and then we can commiserate together on Thursday.
Absolutely can. Everyone, take care. Be well. Make sure you like and subscribe to SC Playbook. You can get all of the first class action by subscribing for cheap as chips, and even win $1,000. You can win a K. It's very easy, especially if you are a subscriber of the channel. Make sure you get all of the info. Lock it, load it. SC Playbook NBA. Take care. Be well. We'll catch you later in the week.